I get some of the weirdest messages on Discord at 3 in the morning, but those are what lead to my videos. This one's no exception. Check it out. This guy called Run North messaged me. He said, "Hey, I can get you an interview with this fella. He's the one with all the accounts in World 1." And he went on to send me a literal picture of his laptop screen of this guy with a bunch of samurai accounts. He told me he's got his Discord, he's willing to accept an interview, and anyways, the rest is history. The guy that we're interviewing here has actually been the subject of many really big Reddit posts. He's running about 48 accounts, sometimes more, sometimes less. And I thought we'd really capture his motivation behind doing this, learn why he started, how he's paying for these accounts, and what his goals are. Honestly, this is a video that I'm doing in between my RuneScape abuse series, so we're not even going to mention the merch store until the end, except this. So I hope you guys enjoy the interview. Without further ado, let's get into it. So I got a Discord message from a guy basically telling me that you run a bunch of accounts often on, I think he said World 2, and he gave me your contact, but that's all I know about what you do.
All right. So yeah, I also did not expect to, like I was not looking for an interview, but that same guy just told me, "Hey, look, you might be good material for an interview." So I'm gonna try to do, some movements with my contact and see if I find something. So I say, great. And to be honest, this is my first interview. I have never done an interview even in real life, so I feel like this is an interesting moment for me.
So what are you doing in game with all these accounts?
First of all, I played long time ago when I was a child as well. I played when it was on mini clips. I'm not sure if you played that long ago. And I play with free to play only. But recently I noticed on November 2018, around that time, I noticed that the mobile version of the game came out, right? So I was like very interested to play again the game, and I tried to play it on the phone, but at least in my opinion, I didn't like it, so I just tried it on PC, and I just play with the vanilla client, doing stuff that I could not do before because finally now I could afford membership, and I think I got to the point that I reached the woodcutting guild, and then I thought to myself like this kind of gameplay, is pretty AFK, so why not just open another account to do other tasks while this one works, right? By itself. So it started like that, like something as simple as having only 3 accounts, like everybody else does. However, I felt like the exponential value of it, like bringing more and more and more accounts to the woodcutting guild, like I felt like it was addicting. Like I like how much they make exponentially together those accounts. So I made about 8 accounts, I think, and most of them were free to play, trying to level wood coding stuff like that. Sometimes I parade them on 301, like saying like, "Look, I can run this many accounts. You guys cannot do this," and everybody would think like, "Oh, you're a bot," and report me dozens of times. So yeah, I felt like, oh, this is like kind of I did not feel peace, but I felt like I was the only one doing it until I found on YouTube a guy named Michael RS. He was basically the guy that inspired me to keep opening more accounts because he had 18 member accounts. I thought I was the only one doing this, but this guy is breaking the norm. So I put a challenge like I want to reach that number of accounts. So basically, when I reached the micro RS amounts of 18 accounts, I felt like, well, woodcutting is so AFK that I can still add more accounts. So that's what I did, and it was up to a point that I had 42 member accounts.
Wow, 42.
Yeah, 42 at once, and I stream it to show that I'm legit playing 42.
I wonder, can you link me your YouTube channel and your stream just so I can
Well,
reference those?
I right now I stream for Twitch, and it's the same as my Discord name, samurai_PR. Yeah, you can find some content there. I actually also did other stuff like doing blast mining on 6 accounts at once, and also 7 accounts doing iron mining with iron rocks, because there's this this method of changing switching windows with the Alt plus escape. So it's very fast. Yeah, it's very fast. It's a bit risky because Jagex system might think is like a macro because it kind of jumps the mouse into another client. So I kind of use it moderately, like I don't use it every time. But yeah, sometimes I use that method as well, and I had never had any warning, any problem. Before that, I just, put the clients side by side. I had a 32 inches monitor and I forced the resolution over 4K because I had an NVIDIA GTX card. So I could fit in one desktop 42 clients. But later I noticed it was too big, like too small, the clients. So I downgraded a bit the monitor, the resolution of the monitors, and I started to use Windows Virtual Desktops, which is integrated in Windows 10. You can have multiple desktops, and that's how I also play sometimes.
Awesome. That's really cool. So, do you use these accounts pretty much strictly for money making?
Well, basically, no. I of course they need to make GP to at least cover the bonds, but my goal actually is like my first goal is like to get all of them wood cutting capes, and right now I have 15 wood cutting capes with my accounts. Yeah, so so that's like my goal, to make as many skill capes as possible and then go to the next skill, like the next one, which is AFK as well, is mining. uh in the mother load, it's not as AFK as woodcutting, so it's more challenging. But since I'm getting used to have many accounts, then it's not a big deal to me. And then after mining, I would try fishing as well, which is also AFK. But for me, it's just about having fun. I feel like I'm having fun. Even some people think it's boring or I'm doing this for, IRL stuff like selling gold or stuff like that, which is not true. So that's why I actually accepted this interview to clarify that. And you can just watch my streams if you don't believe that I do this manually. Well, sometimes I take today I'm taking the day off because I don't like to play all day. But on the week when I'm doing almost nothing, because I work from home doing graphic design, music production sometimes. So I have a lot of time to play, and I play sometimes even up to 12 hours a day. But the weekends I usually just get off the computer, to not be too into it. I don't want to be all day on the computer like all the week.
For those long hours that you're playing with so many accounts, it must be like very click intensive, even though it's AFK. Like if you have 40 plus accounts going.
Yeah, it was very click intensive, so that's why right now I'm reducing. Since I having not real problems like just temporary pain in my hand and stuff like that. I'm scared to have like, how do you call that, carpal tunnel problem. Yeah, so basically I was scared to get that, so I actually reduced my accounts right now, and I try to play with around 12 accounts and trying to reach amethyst mining on them, so that I can make actually about the equivalent of more than 30 accounts wood cutting either way, because amethyst make about 3 times more than magic trees, and it would take me less hours to cover all the ponds as well. So uh, I'm kind of, avoiding having trouble in that aspect of my health and stuff like that. And also, I want to cut time from the game because I also produce music, and I don't want to leave that behind as well. What I like to do as well is to bring all the accounts into one word, make like people be like, what the hell is this when I appear in the word, like with 40 plus accounts. Right now I'm doing less than that, but these days I was doing like 15 accounts to flex my woodcutting capes, and and suddenly, like, I'm not sure what really happened these days. Something happened that Jagex limited the clients to 10 10 connections per IP in each word. So I can Yeah, right now I cannot log in more than 10 accounts, and for me that's like, oh, that sucks because my one of my goals is to keep making woodcutting capes and bring about 20 woodcutting capes at once to one word. So right now I stopped to woodcut because I feel like, oh, One of the reasons I want to do that is to flex, basically. so 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 I'm right now concentrating on mining accounts. And yeah, people might think, oh, this guy's an asshole, he just want to flex. No, I actually like to show what I have done, and I attract so many people like, what the hell is this? But at the same time, I make so many friends. And if you get to know me, I'm not really an asshole. I like to help people as well to do the same thing I do.
Yeah, I think
Like
that's
I
the whole
give
point of
tips.
skill capes, anyways, right? Like that's why anybody ever wears their skill cape is just to kind of show off their achievement.
Yeah, right. I'm open to actually, even do a YouTube channel in the future showing how I do my stuff, how I multi-log so many accounts, and tips of what software to use. The only third-party softwares I use, there is a software called Windows Grid, which lets you arrange the clients. Because imagine manually arranging those clients. That's crazy. And I have two mouses with 12 hardware buttons, three profiles each, and I put the account information there, and that's basically like an auto typer for all my accounts. That's the only automation I do, only to log in. Yeah, imagine logging in 42. Imagine logging in 42 accounts manually, which I did when I had 12 accounts, and it was a mess.
So there's a logout timer too on RuneScape, so you have to like constantly click on these screens.
Yeah, basically, when you would cut, you have up to 5 minutes AFK, and when you come back, you have, I think, 20 minutes. I actually use this so good client called Moonlight. Obviously, everybody knows what I'm talking about. And this client has so many plugins that you can use to improve multi-login. You have the GPU plugin to use less resources, the FPS control, so that when you are not using a client, the performance gets higher, like lower, I mean, the usage. So basically, yeah, you can use that client to also use the camera plugin and make the camera move on top of the character, which in my case is very useful for woodcutting at the woodcutting guild, or I would have to be rotating the camera every time I bank. In full screen, if you have all the clients full screen and you do Alt Escape, just by switching windows, you are avoiding logout as well if they are full screen. So you don't need to interact with the client at all. Yeah. Yeah, I discovered that recently because obviously these days was the days I started to use Alt Escape, like maybe 1 month ago, and I noticed that. So I did not have to click on every client. What I did before was to click in every compass, or use Alt Escape and then click Escape again to open the inventory and close it again to avoid logout. But when you have full screen and you use the Alt Escape, then you can just reset the timeout of that, logout timeout.
What are some of the reactions?
So you mean when I enter a world with so many accounts, there has been, there's a tons of reactions, both positive and negative. Let's say the most popular is WTF. That's the most I get. There has been even some moments that I have been encountered by a mod, and the mod basically tries to tell to everyone like, oh, report his accounts to see if Jagex can review him and stuff like that. So that
Oh,
was
this is
kind of,
a player mod.
yeah, so that was kind of an ass move by the player mod instead of messaging me and asking me like what I was doing.
You ever
And
had
yeah,
any problems with bans?
no, never. I had never had even a warning, nothing. And when the first time, there has been like about 4 instances where people report a lot and player mods actually appear. They just tell the people, oh no, it's just a guy with too much time. And sometimes I ask, if I'm lagging this area of the world, then I will just move. And the player mod just say, no, you are cool, man. Like with 40 accounts, I would not really do any harm to the server whatsoever. I mean, the server is designed to hold 2,000 players, right? So so it should hold well. If you are lagging, it's because you lag even in the Grand Exchange. It's your hardware, not nothing to do with the server. So that's not my fault.
How long does it take you to pay for the bonds on these accounts?
Well, to cover the bonds on woodcutting before, when the bonds were 4 million, it took me about 35 to 40 hours. So I basically had to play at least 4 hours every 10 days or so to cover the bonds of every account. Basically, yeah, it takes me about 40 hours. Right now, the bond is raising in value, and I will have to play about 60 hours if I stay woodcutting, which I'm not. So I'm moving to mining, which can get you 3 times more the gold, so I can cover the bonds in a much shorter time. So eventually, even if the bond reaches 15 million, then I would be playing about 40, 50 hours with the Amethyst accounts.
Makes sense. Yeah, because with 42 accounts, if you want to like actually pay for that monthly, that's like 400 and something dollars, right? That's crazy.
Yeah, that's too much. I don't play. People sometimes make like a meme, like the crabs being like, "Oh, crabs, $400," and I'm like, "No, I don't pay for that. I just use the, I don't use the, I just use the GP in game." And I when I had 42 accounts, I made about 5 million GP per hour. That's about the rate I got. But the logs, the magic logs, were also like 1,100. Now they are 900 something, and the bond is going up. So it's kind of hard to keep up with the wood cutting. That's why I'm moving to the mining.
So while you're moving to the mining, are you still like woodcutting like 40-ish hours a week to try to pay for your current accounts?
I had to travel some months ago, like actually in October. I had to travel to Puerto Rico for 14 days. So obviously I put my accounts in hibernation mode. Basically, I just save all of the valuable stuff in my main account. And when I came back, I just activated the accounts that were not woodcutting 99 to try to reach 99, and I could get three more. I had 12 accounts 99 before that travel, and I have now 15. So right now I did not activate it, the 42 accounts. I just activated maybe about 20 or 25, and I'm just concentrating. I'm gonna move that effort to mining. My plan right now is to have about 6, maybe 12, because I have about 12 accounts, 75 mining or more. Yeah, so that's basically my plan, is to move to Amethyst because it's about 3 times more the value of a magic lock.
Very cool, man. Very cool. Is there anything else that you want to bring up?
Oh, basically, if you wanna just watch how I do this, I already said that Twitch is samurai underscore PR. And yeah, just expect me to to keep streaming from now on, and I might probably in the future I might open a YouTube channel for those that are interested in multi-logging. So yeah, just keep watching my streams on Twitch for an update on that.
And with that, a rather long interview came to the conclusion. I think we really gained some valuable insight into the mindset of somebody that plays so many accounts. 42 is just an astounding number of accounts to manage at one time. Now, onto my shameless plug. My girlfriend and I have been creating some custom old school RuneScape merch. We're doing figurines. They're made out of hard plastic. They're hand painted. Each one's a pretty good size, fits in the palm of your hand, sits on your desk, all that good stuff, because we didn't want to be selling t shirts like all the other people do. So if you want something to kind of make RuneScape physical for you, check out our merch store. Link is in the description below. Plenty of cool items on there. Probably won't make it for Christmas now. It's a little bit too late for that, but if it can be like a late Christmas gift, then hey, go ahead, or maybe just something for yourself. I hope you guys enjoyed this interview, and until next time, love, peace, and chicken grease.